Hey guys, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching from. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ebube Emeka, Olu Ebube Emeka as a matter of fact, and I am a Nigerian-based YouTuber. I live in Lagos, Nigeria. And yeah, it's been a minute. Actually, it's been months since I came here to talk about anything, and I didn't want to just come out like nothing happened. I know I posted a video some days ago, but that video was filmed months ago. As a matter of fact, about 3 months ago before now. So this is literally like my first YouTube content that I'm filming in the last 3 months, because everything I'm about to share happened just some months ago, and I got the courage to film more videos, and then something else happened, and then I just went blank. Yeah, so this is me actually here to give you like a life update. A lot has happened to me, with me, and around me, and this is literally me summoning the courage to come out and talk, and just let it all out, so you don't keep questioning and asking where I've been. As a matter of fact, a lot of you have been so caring enough to ask of my whereabouts. Some of you went as far as reaching out to me on Instagram, on Facebook, and a lot of you have also been commenting on my posts on other social media platforms. I mean, it's really awesome to know that there's a family, there's a community that really appreciates what I do. I didn't know that you guys loved my video that much until this period that I wasn't around. A lot of you kept on asking me, "If you've not been dishing out self-development videos, what's going on? Not even hair content, nothing at all." But I needed to make sure that I was in the best emotional state, in the best mental state to start creating content again. I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to get there. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. Mental health is very important. I just found out in the most difficult way. Like I had first-hand experience of a lot of things that affected my mental health. Yeah. And now I'm in a journey to just really get back to myself. It feels like I'm relearning myself again. I don't know how life just throws a lot of things at you at the same time, and then you start losing a huge part of yourself. So now you're trying to get back everything, And to me, that's the point I am in at the moment. I'm a very strong person. You need to know that I am one of the strongest women you can meet anywhere. Emotionally strong. I'm very strong. And but then there comes a point in your life when a lot of things happen to you, and that strength, that stability starts breaking down or starts going down. So for example, you have a wall, a strong wall that is standing, all right, and then the first hit of a hammer doesn't bring down that wall. The first 10 hits doesn't bring down the wall, but then if you keep hitting the wall consistently till the next day, the wall loses stability and loses balance, and then gets to fall. So that's basically the way I can explain what has happened to me. So the first hit didn't break me, the second one didn't break me, the third, the fourth, the sixth, on a scale of 1 to 10, the seventh one, hit me so hard, and it was a consistent occurrence, and then boom, baby girl just crashed. But we're getting up again. Yeah, so enough of all this whole talk. What happened? That's the question on your mind. What happened? Go straight to the point. So yeah, what happened to me? I'd like to start by saying that the year 2022 started very rough for me. As a matter of fact, it's been a very tough year for me, and I think that's because I'm in the formation stage. I've always been in the formation phase, for every time or new phase of my life, and this particular year happened to be very strategic. It's actually another phase that's supposed to launch me into the next phase of my life. But then this year came very hard. Like, it came very hard. It hit me so hard. It started with me having an accident in the month of January. The first occurrence was me having an accident in the month of January, and that accident basically just affected me up until now. It didn't happen the way the devil had planned for it to happen. So I had gone to church that Sunday morning, and after service I went to an eatery to have lunch, and after that I was trying to get a ride home, but then for some reason my internet service was messed up, and then I kept on having issues getting a ride. So, and I needed to go home. Like, I wasn't, my house isn't so far from the church, but I needed to just go home. I didn't want to just stress myself, so I just decided to go with the only alternative, which was a tricycle. They call it Marwa here in Lagos State. And then I boarded, and it was still sunny that day, and for some reason I just said, okay, let me just sit in front, because there was a family behind and they had kids, so I didn't want to stress them. And then I entered. We hadn't moved so far, and then this vehicle just ran into us, and that was the last thing I remembered. The tricycle just fell. I hit my head somewhere, I don't know, but then I know that I was hearing, bring her out, bring the girl out, bring her out, and that was me. And then yeah, somehow they managed to bring me out. And when they brought me out, the woman that even hit us wasn't even acting like she cared. She was basically just checking her car to make sure her car was still in good condition. And I don't know what's wrong with people that live in Lagos, in Nigeria. When you see an accident scene, people tend to just get defensive, that no one wants to help or maybe take you to a hospital. Nothing. Like, people will be looking at you as though nothing happened. They can literally gather around you, but no one is willing to make the sacrifice of taking you to the hospital, because no one did that day. And I didn't know what to do. I just told them I wasn't so much in a bad condition. My head hurt at that moment, and I had an injury on my head. I just touched it and I noticed that I was bleeding. And I just told the man, the driver. Okay, no, the driver was actually hurt himself. I just told someone around to please get me a car to just take me home, and I would call my doctor. And that was what happened. I got home, I informed my flatmate, and she called my doctor, and then the doctor came over and checked me, and administered some medication and said I was okay. But then for some reason I just wasn't settled. I just really wanted to be sure that I was okay, because I had lost a friend 2 years ago, a very close friend of mine. I lost a friend to such accident, but the difference is that it happened, she was on a bike, and that was in Ibadan, and as the car ran into them, she fell off and hit her head somewhere, and then before they got to the hospital, she died of internal bleeding. And I getting to know or hear the accident left me in shock for like 3 days, and her burial was even not long, and it happened. So as that accident happened, I literally was thinking about my friend. I literally was thinking about her, and for me it was just like, this is how she died. This is how she died. And so I just wanted to get to the hospital. So the next day I struggled, and I called a friend of mine to please take me to the hospital, and he did. And then I had to have a brain CT scan done on me, and luckily, to the glory of God, nothing happened. The doctor had advised that I took some time off, because my brain was traumatized because of the heat. But stubborn me, I didn't rest for too long. I resumed work the next day. No, as a matter of fact, from the hospital I went straight to work. Yes. And where I used to work then, I don't know, it was just an unhealthy, competitive place. So I needed to just get to work. It was as though I was trying to just prove myself and not, let the work suffer because I was not available. So I got to work. I didn't have enough rest. So I continued working, for the first few days. I wasn't feeling okay. In fact, one of those days I almost passed out in the office. Like, I was literally looking at the system and I couldn't see anything. Everything was blurry to me. And that day was a terrible day. I eventually got home. But then, that was it. I didn't really feel well. And then there was so much work pressure. And it was the fact that the former workplace I was in is a very toxic environment. Toxicity there is 100 of 100. and it was something that I thought I could manage. I really thought I could. And also because I thought that it would change at some point, but it never did. So eventually I had to just manage through. But it got to a point, I had it up to here. I had no choice. I had to resign. So that was it. And because I was staying in the company's apartment, it meant I had to also move out of the apartment, which was a very a very difficult thing I had to go through because it was impromptu. And I really don't want to go into the details of me resigning. It's not worth it, really. Trust me, it's not worth it. Yeah, so I needed to resign, and I did. Was it a good decision? Definitely was. Was it convenient for me? No. It was just the beginning of another stressful period of my life. And mind you, I had just recovered from an accident. So I was basically like taking myself through another difficult time. So I needed to start house hunting immediately, and that was in the month of May. That house hunt experience literally broke me. First of all, house hunt in Lagos is one of the most stressful experiences to have, especially if you're a lady. It's even different if you're a guy. You just have to go through the stress. But for a lady, a single lady at that, the stress is beyond the physical. It is the discrimination that you would face. It is the tribalism that you face, even as a guy. For me, I had to house hunt in Lagos for 3 months. And I found houses, funny enough. It wasn't like I did not. I found lots of good houses. But then for some reason, there was just tribalism. I don't know why. Like, once they hear Ibu, they're like, Omo Ibo, you know? I'm like, yeah, I'm Igbo. There's just this change in countenance. Everybody just, starts giving you excuses like, oh, no, I think the flat is taken. Oh, I think, like, lots of excuses. And as a matter of fact, I was looking forward to getting a one-bedroom apartment because I want privacy. Oh, like, I love privacy. And plus, I'm a content creator. I need space. I didn't want to share a flat anymore. So I really wanted to stay alone and just enjoy some privacy, I found a house. I found a one-bedroom apartment. It was beautiful. I still hate that I didn't get the house though. The day I was supposed to make payments, the agent ghosted me ASAP and secretly collected money from a Yoruba person. And I felt so bad because that was after I had gone through some stress of seeing some houses, and eventually I thought, oh yeah, finally I saw one I can move in. And it happened. That was my phone. So I found another one actually, but they had issues because I'm a single lady. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to believe that there are single ladies that have good jobs that are paying them and they are very industrious and just financially stable. I don't know, it's so hard for them to believe that part. Because they just kept on saying, oh, I don't want a single lady. I want a lady that is married. And I'm like, how does a married couple stay in a one-bedroom apartment? Okay, yeah, I get the point of people starting, that it is a little beginning. But then, some ladies just are hardworking. Can you just take it? But no, they couldn't. They just kept on saying, no, we just don't want a lady that will bring in different men here and stuff like that. And God, it was stressful. So eventually I lost that one. I found another one and it was my tribe, an Igbo man, and I was so happy because it felt like God sent. And I made payment immediately, moved in after 1 week because they had to do some painting for me. And I found out that the house had flooding issues. The landlord did not tell me about it. I only found out by myself. And I told him I wanted to move out. And I moved out after 1 week of staying in the house. And I lost money. I lost about 140K. Because the landlord refused to refund me everything, including the agreement fee. And I didn't even get the agreement form. That's even the interesting part of it. And I don't like wahala. Oh Lord, I don't like issues in my life. So I had to move out of the house and had to move around a bit from a friend's place to the other when I had my properties, somewhere. And yeah, eventually I found one. A friend of mine hooked me up to another house, and they needed a flatmate, and I had to just accept it. You know, that desperate moment that calls for desperate action? Yeah, that was what I did. And yeah, so I share a flat now, and it's been an amazing experience so far, I must say. Like, it's been amazing. I haven't had a moment of regret so far. But next year I'm definitely getting another apartment, and it has to be a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, a girl could use some privacy. There's a lot I want to do. So yeah, I really want to do that. And then after I settled, I honestly thought that once I got the apartment, I would just settle down, like, you know, that breath of fresh air, like, now we're settled. And depression hit me. I had severe depression for the longest time. That was when I came to the understanding that the work toxicity I had experienced and the other stress and pressure that I had really, you know, had deep impact in me mentally. I really didn't know that it was that deep or it was that much until I had settled. And honestly, I really expected that, you know, I was just going to go back to my usual content creation, because even while I was working, I was still creating content. At least once in a while, I would dish out some content, and I was still doing it. But then I had the time now. I was settled. I had gotten an apartment, and it was the fact also that I had painted my room in all white. I got furnitures. I got everything that would really normally inspire and motivate me to create content, but motivation died. And that's the worst part of it. You know, when you get to a point in your life when you don't have the motivation to do even the things you love doing, you literally don't do them anymore. It's a call for help. And for me at that moment, I got so worried because every day I would be in bed doing nothing. Like, I would be in bed from morning till night, scrolling through my phones, and I always would go on the internet, on YouTube, to watch videos of other creatives to just get inspired. And I'm like, I try to write and nothing is coming to my head, like nothing. My head was blank, literally blank. And I know when I'm in the zone of content creation, I know when I'm all into it, I literally find it difficult to sleep at night because ideas will keep popping into my head, and I start writing and I start typing because I wouldn't want to forget it. But at that moment, it was as though my brain was dead. Motivation window had closed on me. And I found out that I slid into severe depression. And I needed help. The period I knew that I needed help was when I started having suicidal thoughts. Yeah, I know. I started having suicidal thoughts. And I didn't realize that I would ever get to the point where I would have that. You know, when you always see people say, oh, I feel like killing myself. And you're like, why do you want to do that? This life is so awesome. It's so beautiful. You have to stay here. You know, all those stuff. Wait until it happens to you. Wait until you get to that point where you are emotionally drained. You're mentally drained. You're just down. And you probably don't even have anyone to reach out to you at that point. You know, you probably don't have anyone to reach out to you at that point, and it's just you. Like, no one can understand you. You don't even have the right words to express how you feel, because I didn't know how to explain how I felt. I had friends, I had people around me, but I felt alone. And it was also the fact that my spiritual life at that moment had gone down, because everything was affected big time. I couldn't pray, nothing. I couldn't do anything. You know, the devil was really, really, really after me. That, you know, it was just crazy. I was still there showing up because I like showing up. I'm that type of person that always makes it difficult for people to find out if I'm doing or going through something. I don't like looking like what I'm going through. The only thing that was evident was the physical stress, because I was house hunting, you know, that period, and the sun was always scorching me, so I had gotten tanned a bit. So people would always ask me, what's wrong? Are you okay? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm house hunting. Like, oh yeah, take it easy, you'll be fine. But then what they didn't know was the aftermath of the house hunt. So I I knew I needed to seek help when I started having suicidal thoughts. And to me, it was the fact that I was seriously analyzing it. I would just stay in bed and I'm thinking, so if I die now, who would be really hurt? My mom? Oh, my mom, it would kill her. Like, she can't take it. My dad? And then my dad was really sick. I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. My dad, oh, Lord, he would just die. My twin? I'm a twin, in case you don't know, I'm twin. I'm like, oh, my twin, well, it's a twin tie, you know, like he would feel it so much, even though we're not that close, but he's my twin. It would be difficult, you know, just analyzing the situation in my head. And it was the fact that I was doing that while I was in church. I'm like, yo, this is terrible. And that was when the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, is it not about time you seeked help? And I just broke down. I knew I needed to seek help, so I had to reach out to one of the pastors in my church. Shout out to you, Pastor Chinwe. You're just God sent to me. Yeah. So I reached out to Pastor Chinwe and she spoke to me. It was like an awakening for me. That meeting was an awakening for me. I can't even lie. God, I delayed this video for so long because I didn't want to break down. I don't know. I thought I was, you know, finally strong enough to talk about this. I don't know. Well, I'm tearing up again. So yeah, the meeting was like an awakening for me because we talked. She spoke to the giant in me. Like she spoke to the giant in me. She hit me so hard with words, you know, and it was a combination of the rod and the staff. She hit me with the rod first of all, and I broke down. I cried my eyes out. No matter how much these things had affected me, I also had a part I was supposed to play, and I didn't play the part well. So she brought to light the places I had defaulted, and I broke down that day. I can't forget it in a hurry. But I left that meeting and I made certain decisions that I wanted to just really hold on to. And she even told me to get a book, and it was like a start over for me. And I did that day. And before I knew it, I started having content creation ideas again. Like it was as though I came alive. I had spoken to God and had prayed for the first time in how many months. I felt so good. I can't even lie. So it was like a fresh start for me. And the first week was awesome. I was praying. I was happy again. I was joyful again. Joy had returned gradually, and I was beginning to have motivation to create content. So I was writing content. One of those days I was like, okay, let me just, you know, courageously film a content. And that was when I filmed the content that you watched the last time, how to position yourself rightly for a relationship. Yeah. And by the way, that was inspired by a meeting I had attended, my church meeting. Yeah, that's actually where I got the inspiration. I had to add more. So content creation was going well because I had filmed about 4 videos. And then I got the most shocking news. One morning, we lost my dad. And that was the most difficult thing to deal with. My dad had been sick for a long time. Early this year, he started having symptoms of heart failure, and we knew that as of then it wasn't even that serious because the doctor had confirmed that he was going to be okay. He only needed medications, and medication started. So it went on for some months, but then at some point the doctor said his immune system wasn't strong enough to make do with the medication he was being administered. And we were still hoping that he would get better, because I mean sometimes he would feel better and other times he would not feel good. And for me, my dad believes in me a lot. He's that person that would always believe in me praying for him. Most of the times he would call me to say, "Ebube, pray for me. I know your prayer works." And I would do that with faith, and he would always feel okay. I don't know why I'm like a priest in my home, if you must know. I occupied a priestly position in my house. But it was the fact that he was getting worse, and that was the period I was struggling with depression because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even pray myself. So I wasn't really there spiritually anymore to do certain things. I knew my dad was going to die. That's the shocking part. I could sense it. I could sense it. As a matter of fact, I dreamt about it. And I felt I needed to prepare mentally for his death. And at that moment, I thought I was prepared. I made sure that he was prepared, if you know what I mean. My mom made sure too. And for me, I honestly thought I was prepared. But I didn't know it was going to happen so soon, because it happened 2 weeks after my dream. Now, the night that he died, because I didn't even know he had died, the night that he died, I had filmed the content that day, and for some reason I had it in my spirit to just call my dad, call your dad, call your mom, ask how he's feeling, like, just call. And I was like, oh yeah, when I'm done, I'll call. I would call. And eventually my twin brother just sent a message to me asking, did you hear anything that same day, in fact in the night? And I'm like, no, I didn't. Did Kemas call you to tell you anything? That's my youngest. And I said no. And my spirit was just sensing, things, but I didn't know what to think at that moment. So I called my sister. She was crying on the phone, and I was calming her down. She was like, Osbeth called and said Daddy isn't responding anymore. Daddy is not so well, things like that. And I'm like, no, that is fine, because I had called my mom, and my mom said, no, your dad is fine. He's sleeping, like he's just resting. He just finished eating. My mom. And she was so convincing, and I believed it. So I was telling my kids that Daddy is fine, just calm down, he's fine. And then she calmed down. And I spoke to my mom again that night. As a matter of fact, I called my last born, and my mom picked the call. And that's like the first time ever. She doesn't pick the calls. She doesn't pick her calls. She doesn't pick anybody's calls, and she did. And I was like, I want to speak with Osbeth. She said, no, Osbeth went to buy something. I sent her on an errand. And I was like, okay, is Daddy fine? Is he okay? He said, yeah, your daddy is fine. He's sleeping. I said, okay. I asked her, I said, but you know that it will happen soon, right? She said, you mean your dad? I said, yes. She said, yeah, I know. And I asked God to give him an extra year at least, at least 2 years at least. I said, well, God had told me about it. I saw it in my dream. And one of the ways God speaks to me is through my dreams. I don't have dreams often, but when I do, it's pretty serious, especially if I remember them. I knew that God was showing me something. So I told her, and she was like, okay. Then we talked, and I told her to just calm down and we had done the preparation, and everything was going to be fine. So I went to bed. For the first time in my life, I was thinking about my dad, but I was not thinking about him as someone that was alive. I was thinking about his burial, like what's gonna happen? What would it be like? What would the family be going through at that point? How would everybody take it? So I forced myself to sleep. The next morning at 4 a.m., my mom calls and I picked the call, and she said, Ebube, hold yourself, just put yourself together. I'm like, okay, what's wrong? And she said, your dad is dead. I said, okay. She said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. I knew it was gonna happen. I was prepared. I thought I was. I mean, like, I'm fine. And she said, don't cry. I said, no, I'm not crying, Ma. She said, okay, just put yourself together. We're gonna be fine. And I asked, are you okay? Are you fine? She said, no, I'm okay. And she ended the call. You know how you thought you were prepared for something or someone's exit or someone's death, and then it happens and you find out that nothing prepares you for the death of a loved one. And because it's the first time I'm ever losing a loved one, like nothing prepared me for that feeling. That morning I was in my bed and I didn't know what to think. I was trying to be strong. I honestly wanted to be strong. I tried to be strong. But that's my dad, come on. There was no way I was going to be strong about it because I love him so much. And our relationship was getting to the point where, we had got to the point where I could talk to him a lot. I loved him so much. The last time I sent him some money, it was a surprise, He called me and he said deep prayers for me, and I was crying on the phone. That was the depth of love we had built for ourselves. So basically he died when I was enjoying the relationship, because we had a very rough relationship growing up. That's a story for another day. And I broke down that morning. I could not believe my dad had died. I just couldn't. It was difficult to believe. I just couldn't believe it. You know how you're just trying to think like, wait, so I'm not going to see him anymore? Like, he's dead. That was when it dawned on me the reason I was feeling that way, the reason I was thinking about his burial and everything. Yeah, so that was it. I cried for 2 days and I resumed normal activities. I didn't want to, just soak in it. I just didn't want to do that. I needed to just be okay immediately. I don't like pity parties, so I just really needed to avoid that. Yeah, and I moved on. So eventually I needed to travel home for the burial, and I did. And that was when the reality of my dad's death hit me so hard. I would be in the kitchen cooking and I hear footsteps and I would think it was my dad. That's crazy, man. I would cook. One of those nights I had finished making dinner and I told my kid sister to go and ask daddy if he was ready to eat. And I just remembered, oh my God, daddy is not here anymore. There were times I would hear the sound of his door open. Maybe my sisters, anybody could just open it, and I would think it was him. Like, his presence was everywhere. Everything literally reminded me of my dad. The reality at that point was too much to take in. And I had other things I was dealing with. It was just a lot. Like, a lot of things happened to me at the same time. So one of those mornings, I felt so overwhelmed. I was trying to write his tributes because, we needed to prepare for the burial, and it was just a month after his death. So I was trying to write a tribute to him. I tried, I couldn't finish it. Then after that, some other things happened in the family. Like my family, it was like a war zone that period. Everybody literally just scattered because I don't know, my dad's death just created a void. A lot of things happened that day. Before I knew it, I started having panic attacks. You know when you're trying to breathe and you can't breathe, like you're literally, it felt like my heart was about to be taken out of my chest. And yeah, that was like another thing I had to deal with. But eventually I started putting myself together. We traveled home for the burial, which was another stress because my village people, they just sapped us. They really wanted to finish us with bills. Traditions, wow. I don't know why Igbo traditions are just too stressful. For the first time, I wish I was from the north. I wish I was a northerner because we would have just buried him immediately. We wouldn't have to do things, buy cows, buy this, buy that. God, we spent money, you know. But it was worth it because we gave him a befitting burial. We buried my dad like a king. And for me, I think that's like the good thing. And I'm like, oh, at least we buried you like a king, daddy. You know? I don't know if that means anything anyways, but the last respect to him was awesome. And I had to summon courage because I needed closure. I had to summon courage to see him, you know, lying in state. And my dad was looking cute, even in death. My dad was looking so cute. I was literally admiring my dad even while I was crying. The burial was amazing. It was really awesome. It went well. And then we got home and everybody was trying to adjust. I came back to Lagos and I got so ill. Like I fell ill immediately. The night I came in to Lagos, I just broke down. So for the next 2 weeks, I was very sick. I was trying to get back. I was trying to bounce back. And eventually I did. And I knew that I was going to slide into another phase of depression if I had stayed just like that, like stayed idle. So I knew that I needed to start working. And I had gotten an offer from a brand to work with them as a content and communication strategist. And I had told them I was not even ready, funny enough, before the burial. And they were like, okay, take your time whenever you're ready. So I knew I didn't want to get into depression, at least not like before. Because the reality was just hitting me so hard. I had returned from the burial. It was just me in the house. And you're facing it. So I just called him. I'm like, oh yeah, so let's do this. I'm ready. Let's do this. And yeah, I started working. And the good thing about it is that I work from home. And it's been 2 months of working with this brand. It's been amazing. Actually, one of the most convenient jobs I could have asked for. Working from home is literally bae at this point in my life. I'm enjoying it. The fact that I get to do other things, and it's also giving me time to attend to my brand because I'm really working so much on my brand now. You guys should get ready. 2023 is going to be mad for me. You better get ready because you don't know what's coming. You're not ready for what I'm about to give you. You're not ready. Better get ready. You know, it's the fact that you don't realize how much the work environment affects your personal life. You don't. I literally didn't know that it had so much impact until now, because where I work, the brand I work with, I just have peace of mind. Is my work demanding mentally? Definitely. But am I enjoying it? I am. Like, it's content creation, so why won't I enjoy it? Like, I'm doing my hobby, but I'm being paid for it more, you know. And it's also giving me a motivation to really work on my brand. And I have the most amazing boss ever. Yeah, I do. And it's been an amazing journey so far. I've been enjoying it, and it's been 2 months already, and it's been going well. But then I'm still struggling with my mental health. So today I'm all energetic, I'm all happy, like, yay, let's do this, let's kick some, you know, just do this and let's just get some work done. And the next day I'm all tired, I'm all down, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just, you know, a friend of mine told me that I did not wait to heal well, first of all, before diving into work. And I was trying to use work as a coping mechanism. And he called me a workaholic. And I just recently found out that I am a workaholic. I had changed as a result of this, emotional experience, emotionally depleting experience that I had had for the past 6 months. And I didn't know. So now it's as though I'm trying to relearn myself. I'm unlearning myself. I'm relearning myself. Remember the example I gave you about the wall that has been hit for a long time? Yeah. I'm that wall that has been hit for a long time and it had broken. So I'm trying to rebuild myself again. I'm just being as vulnerable as I can to you right now. I'm broken right now and I'm trying to heal from my dad's death. I'm trying to heal from the work toxicity. I'm already healing from that. Like there's so much progress. I'm trying to heal from the physical stress that I've had from the house hunt. I'm trying to heal from the loss of myself because I also lost myself in the process. I'm trying to heal from a lot of things emotionally. And it's been really demanding, but I keep showing up. I promised myself that I would keep showing up. Mental health struggles are real. When people say they have mental illness, don't think it's about people being mad. It's not about people picking things on the road and being mad. Mental health illness is real. And it comes in different ways. It's not the way you think it is. And most of the times you need to seek therapy. Am I considering therapy right now? I am. I mean, I'm back to spiritual things again. But I figured that I could talk about it and let it go. I could talk about it and just let it go. And I'm also now discovering that certain childhood experiences and trauma is affecting me. I don't know where that came from. It's always been there, yeah, but this particular period of, issues brought them out the more. But I'm showing up, really showing up. And I'm showing up more because I have amazing friends and I have amazing family. My family, we're more united now than ever. I don't know how that happened, but we love ourselves more after the whole fight, during the burial preparation. It was as though the burial just brought us together because we're in the house. It's a big house, so everybody was just there. My sister came with her kids, everybody was around. So it was just a nice time to bond and talk and laugh, and I miss those memories right now, like sitting in the sitting room, everybody just there, we're just gisting and talking and laughing. Yeah, so that's the life update. Now you know. And I really want to appreciate everybody that has been there for me, asking about me. Most of you have reached out to me on Instagram, on Facebook, on my old line. I had to stay offline for about 6 months because I needed some time to myself. So I had to get a new line. I needed privacy. I needed to think. Depression makes you want to be alone. If you're depressed, please seek help. Please seek help. Please, I beg you, seek help before it gets to the point where you want to commit suicide. I got there. And sometimes it's shocking that I got there. But I'm better now. I'm in a better place. I'm productive now. I have the best convenient job. I'm doing well at it. My boss is so appreciative, and I'm also really putting my potentials to good use. I literally didn't know that I could handle certain things, and I'm doing it, and I'm showing up every day. I'm giving results, and I'm so proud of myself. Jeez, I am so proud of myself. Like, I'm proud of this baby girl. I'm showing up every day for her, and she's doing well. I know that all the things I'm going through right now is for the future. I know that there is someone that will yet go through it, and I'm going to be able to reach out to that person, because God cannot or doesn't do through you what he has not done in you. And I know that this is just a phase that God is trying to put me through to have some work done in me to bring out another better version of myself, so that I can do this to someone else. and so that he can do it through me. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm better, and I am now back on YouTube again. Content creation is fully back 100%. You just expect content from me, and I want to get monetized in 2023. I want to get monetized. That's one of the goals, and I'm positive. So you guys should just really be there for me. Just encourage me, comment on my videos, you know, give thumbs up, share my videos. Let's get monetized. Can we? Would you want to do that? Would you be happy for me if I get monetized next year? I mean, let's grow. Let's do more. Let's just grow. So thank you so much for being there for me. I love you guys to the moon and back. It's been an amazing journey, and your girl is back.